Hello Legionnaires, this is Max Leoff from Legion of Myth, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Beastmaster Discipline in the Earthdawn role-playing game. Now I have to tell you up front that this is going to be a very short video when compared to the others. As I'll state in a moment, the Beastmaster is a very diverse and player-friendly discipline, and it's not my goal with these videos to just rehash the 4th edition player's guide. Since there aren't many nuanced intricacies with the Beastmaster and personal visions can run the gamut of personalities and beliefs, there isn't much to clarify or to worry about when considering the Beastmaster discipline. If you have not watched my earlier videos in this series, I encourage you to at least watch the inaugural episode titled Earthdawn Disciplines and Adepts, an Overview, as it explains the nuances of what it means to be an adept who follows a discipline in the Earthdawn role-playing game. I'll post a link to the video in the description below. In regard to this particular episode on the Beastmaster, as well as all of the discipline-specific episodes, I will be discussing the Beastmaster discipline primarily in terms of 4th edition Earthdawn. 4th edition is the most recent version of the game, and thus the most appropriate version to discuss. Where 4th edition information is lacking or where comparisons need to be made, I'll revert to previous editions as necessary, usually 1st edition. So with that out of the way, it's time to roar into the Beastmaster episode. Normally at this point of the video, I would describe in some detail the background and worldview of the Beastmaster, those nuanced role-playing expectations that create the image of a disciplined Beastmaster. However, in this case, it's highly impractical. Beastmasters, like the creatures that make up the animal kingdom, come in very diverse personalities and visions. Is your Beastmaster character the stereotypical fantasy druid who prefers animals to people? Does he perhaps see nature as under siege by the horrors and has a strong desire to protect it? Is the character akin to a totemic shaman who invokes the power of animal spirits within her, or the Eastern martial artist who emulates animal forms in her combat maneuver? Maybe animals are merely tools who serve your character as their alpha or pack leader. Perhaps your Beastmaster prefers to understand and lead magical creatures over the mundane ones, or vice versa. These are just a handful of the quick examples of potential Beastmaster Adept. Your imagination may carry you in many other directions. The only common themes in the various Beastmaster writings across the editions are that of patience and strength of will. A Beastmaster needs patience to build the trust of an animal companion and the strength of will to lead it. Animals prey on the weak and do not suffer fools easily. If the animal is to follow the Beastmaster must have both the trust of the creature and the will to lead it. Even Beastmasters who rely more on the animal aspects than on the animal companions require great patience to learn the nature of the beast and to internalize its capabilities. Because of the vast potential diversity in personal visions, it's honestly going to be easier to just talk about the Beastmaster's discipline violations, what they cannot do, than to try to narrow them down to a single theme. So with that in mind, I'm going to mix the order of operations up here a bit and jump right into discipline violations. As I say in every episode, with great power comes, well, some rules. Remember from my overview video that disciplines are not character classes, professions, or archetypes. They are lifestyles. And while the personal vision of each adept may differ, there are some foundations that must remain. For the Beastmaster discipline, there's really just one required foundational premise that's true among all Beastmaster adepts. No matter the personal vision or how an individual Beastmaster sees the world and the discipline, she must honor her commitment to never bring deceit into her relationship with an animal. A Beastmaster who tricks her animals into sacrificing their lives or sells them into slavery to a cruel master will suffer a talent crisis. Talent crisis is when your character loses steps and thus action dice when trying to use his talents. In effect, this cuts the character off from the discipline, so keep that in mind whenever you're role-playing a Beastmaster. And that's it. That's all I've got for the Beastmaster background. Whether you consider them friends, pets, tools, family, or whatever, as long as you're honest with your beast, the rest is up to you. Just understand that an animal will act instinctually and accordingly when it's able. So, what does this mean to be the Beastmaster's player? What should you expect if you choose Beastmaster as your character's discipline? You should expect an interesting assortment of possibilities that cater to your ability to create and maintain a pack, take on the aspects and abilities of animals, and fight like a ferocious beast yourself. At 5th Circle, all Beastmasters gain the Cat's Grace ability, which allows the Beastmaster to automatically succeed to test to maintain balance, and to stand up is a simple action with no cost or test. At 9th Circle, for the cost of just 1 blood magic, the Adept can raise his toughness value by 3, which guarantees a 1-step improvement. At 13th Circle, for the cost of 5 strain, the Adept receives 12 points to spread between initiative, claw shape, movement rate, and physical armor. This lasts for 10 minutes, certainly enough for most combat encounters. The first thing I would do as a Beastmaster's player is to decide if my character is going to focus on animal companions or on personal combat capability. Sure, you can build a hybrid of sorts or even take talents to mimic an AD&D ranger, but for my silver, I suggest focusing on one extreme or the other, at least for your first Beastmaster build. Also, no matter which route you take, the Beastmaster is never a slouch in battle. Unarmed combat, claw shape, downstrike, claw frenzy, critical hit, and more are given to all Beastmasters. So even if the Beastmaster is separated from his animal companions, you would be a fool to underestimate him. If you decide to go down the path of maintaining and focusing on multiple animal companions, the pack leader as I call it, you may want to talk to your GM about how to handle the creatures in your pack. I have met more than one Earthdawn GM that becomes frustrated with the Beastmaster discipline when players have 6 companion animals all doing different things every turn. Also, the combat and upkeep of each individual companion can slow the game down if the GM and player are not prepared for a squad worth of extra. Be sure you and your game master are comfortable with the use and accountability of your herd. In past editions, Beastmaster players sometimes struggled with what to do with their critter friends as the Beastmaster character circled up. There had come a point where the animal companions would seem to become more of a liability than a help to the player character and to the game. Personally, I never ascribed to this belief, however, there were certainly a large number of Beastmaster players who did. Now, in 4th edition, there's an amazing optional talent called Enhance Animal Companion. This allows a Beastmaster's loyal companions to have certain statistics scale up alongside the Beastmaster Adept to some degree. Animal Bond, Animal Training, Enhance Animal Companion Durability, Call Animal Companion, Gorging Attack, and Animal Leadership are all optional talents that promote the pack leader variation of Beastmaster. As long as you and your GM can keep the administrative control of your companions, you cannot go wrong with the pack leader variant of the Beastmaster. On the other end of the Beastmaster spectrum is the variant who internalizes creature and animal capabilities. 2 different real-world examples of this variant are the animal forms of Kung Fu, where one uses grace, balance, strength, and ferocity of the animal to enhance fighting capability, and totemic shamanism or spiritualism, where one sees through the eyes of a hawk or is imbued with the strength of a bear. Personally, the optional talents I like for this variant include Acrobatic Defense, Danger Sense, Cobra Strike, Swift Kick, Tiger Spring, Defensive Posture, and more. Pretty much all the ones that assist with combat. While this character may not run around with a small army of varmints, her combat prowess will keep up with any of the pure combat disciplines. In Earthdawn, half magic represents discipline-pertinent knowledge and skills a character knows or can perform simply by being an adept of that discipline. In this case, the Beastmaster Adept can attempt to use half magic when dealing with or caring for animals in ways beyond those described by their talents, including animal husbandry, first aid, etc. Beastmasters may also use half magic to recognize different animals, animal tracks, and abnormal behavior among animals and creatures. As usual, I am not going to talk about the multi-discipline combinations, their advantages, and their effects. But I will mention that when taking on a second discipline, the Beastmaster leans towards the Air Sailor, Cavalryman, Scout, and Warrior. Beastmasters tend to follow the Passion Jasperi, but that is at best a rule of thumb and certainly not a requirement. A Beastmaster's personal vision will better determine which passion, if any, the character venerates. So what are my final thoughts regarding the 4th edition Beastmaster? Ultimately, the Beastmaster can be fun for nearly all player types. As you can tell from how brief this video is, the Beastmaster is one of the easier disciplines to play, notwithstanding the possible clutter of the potential critter horde if that is your inclination. Unless your ultimate goal is to sit at range to lob arrows or spells, the Beastmaster is a discipline in which I believe anyone can find both a fun build and an interesting personal vision. Alright, I know this one was comparatively short, but I hope you enjoyed this 4th video in my series that will eventually cover all the primary disciplines in the Earthdawn setting. Please let me know what you think of this episode, the Beastmaster discipline, and of the Earthdawn setting as a whole. If you have a discipline you really want me to cover sooner rather than later, please let me know so I can move it to the top of my list. Unless comments, tweets, or Discord discussions change my mind, you can count on the Warrior to be next. If you like this video, please subscribe to Legion Myth channel. Helps us out more than you know. You can know. There we go. Also, mash the bell icon so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. Finally, I want to let you know about the Legion Myth weekly live stream every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/LegionMyth. See the description below for the link. Our hosts Garthon and Heathen Dog provide anime reviews, tabletop gaming fundamentals, comic book reviews, and other nerd topics that should interest you. If you can't catch them live, you can always watch past episodes on this Legion Myth YouTube channel. And with that, I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.